All right, everybody, it's time to lay down for bed and listen to a story. It's time for the night chicken, and you don't want to miss that now, do you? I didn't think so. Now, if everybody is ready, let's begin. The air on November 19th was not just cold, it was the kind of cold that reminded you winter had already packed its bags and was just waiting for the first big blizzard to arrive. The leaves were brittle and scraped across the gravel path like tiny skeletal fingers, and the night duties had become heavier than a sack of winter squash. Shy, the night chicken, huddled with Shorty and Skinny inside the cozy darkness of the garden shed. The walls, usually comforting, seemed to press in on them with the weight of responsibility. Shorty had been chasing phantom rustles near the night end fence, only to realize he'd forgotten to check the locks on the old root cellar. Meanwhile, Skinny, whose job it was to secure the woodpile, had been so distracted by a fascinating new button he found that he nearly missed Rory Raccoon sniffing around the pantry. "It too much for 3 sets of paws and 1 set of clever claws," Shy whispered, her sleek black feathers barely disturbing the straw. Her crescent moon pendant caught the faint light filtering through the window, a tiny silver promise in the dark. Shorty sighed, his torn ear twitching. "We are the night guardians, Shy, but we're wearing thin, like the last slice of autumn moon. We need more than hustle, we need structure." Skinny nodded vigorously, his red and white bandana askew. "Aye, a system, a grand, complicated, wonderfully organized system." And so, under the vast, patient expanse of the old oak tree, the 3 guardians called a quiet meeting. Not a loud, boastful meeting, but a circle of quiet trust, as Clive the sheep called it, because Shy insisted that all true night work must be built on silent loyalty. Clive was there, always ready with a rolled scroll and a thoughtful frown, as was Madame Luna, the grand snowy owl, perched high above, ready to give the meeting the proper gravity it deserved. Shy, standing just at the edge of the deepest shadow so only her outline was visible, spoke through Shorty. The plan was simple yet revolutionary. The night would be split into 3 sectors of expertise. Shorty, with his fierce loyalty and knowledge of the farm animals, was put in charge of the inner circle, the chicken coop, the barn, and the shed perimeters. His job was to ensure the slumber of their sleepy friends. Skinny, with his boundless energy and knack for spotting a rogue pine cone from a mile away, was assigned the outer frontier, the cornfield edge, the woodpile, and the treacherous berry bushes. His job was to manage all things mischievous and movable. And Shy, she took the most difficult role, the silent watch. Her duty wasn't to patrol a specific area, but to weave herself into the shadows, observing the overall pattern of the night, stepping in only where the others could not reach, acting as the ultimate unseen safeguard. Madame Luna dipped her silvery head, a brilliant division of light and shadow. She hooted softly. "The night thrives on balance, my friends." Clyde used a sliver of bark and charcoal to draw a rough map of the farm, labeling the sectors, calling it the Charter of Night Harmony. He then had Shorty and Skinny bump noses over the charter, cementing their oath of equal responsibility. The very first night of the Circle of Quiet Trust was the smoothest they had known in weeks. Shorty was focused, efficiently checking the latch on Florence the cow stall. Skinny, knowing the inner circle was handled, found a new kind of joy in tracing the perimeter of the woodpile, spotting a fox print before it even crossed the night-end fence. Shy watched from the cool darkness, a feather-light shadow passing between the sectors. The weight was still there, of course. The night always held a certain gravity, but now that weight was distributed, balanced across the shoulders of friends. The night chicken knew, as she settled into the eaves of the shed for her long day rest, that the strongest protection wasn't a single act of bravery, but a circle of true, quiet trust. That's the end of tonight's story, and now comes my favorite part. Let's close our eyes, listen to some soft music, and dream about Shy's next adventure. And while she's out there defending the night, we can sleep easy, knowing she's there, keeping us safe. Sleep tight, everyone, and don't bite any bed bugs.